But this is the first use case. So we are taking tweets from one of the Twitter users, Poonam Soni, and her opening title was "Goodbye ChatGPT." I mean, she has provocative ways by which we can go to the Twitter account and directly check. So 13 jaw-dropping updates you need to know. Don't miss the fifth one. So let's go ahead. And it basically says China's, I mean, there's no, Trump said it's a wake-up call. Are
I
these
think
the 13 ones? I think we opened some of the tweet here. This is not the, is this the same tweet?
these are the use cases.
Yeah. Can we play this? So it is able to create this object from code. Is that the
Yeah,
case?
create it and you will run it. So you can run it in the browser itself. So that is what they're doing. Just like GPT's canvas where you can run the code, this is like that.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting use case for education companies, like people who want to demonstrate some mathematical object on the go. This is great. So another big news that the second image points to is the fact that Deepseek was the uh, top downloaded app on iStore. I think it's also in the top 10 or 20 in Android store. I don't know the rating, but it's in the top. A lot of people are downloading it and checking it. What is fascinating or funny is that Threads is at number 3, which boggles my mind. Like people are using that. That's what is
It is.
surprising about this.
I
Screen.
just checked this and it is giving DeepSeek as the number one.
Number one
downloaded
in
app.
Android. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So what was fascinating, I mean, I laughed. I mean, a lot of the people were laughing at Threads too. I didn't realize Threads is that famous. I thought nobody used Threads and it's still at number 3. So, good going, Meta. So let's look at third use case. So Deepseek R1 1.5 can run on virtually any hardware. What's 4 times 245?
Still thinking.
Just pause this. Not now. I mean, when it was giving the thinking process. One of the things that I've been told about this model is the fact that it gives you chain of thought process of thinking, meaning like it breaks down the problem into smaller chunks, and it tells you how it is doing it so that you can see the machine in action. Okay, so I need to figure out the best way to proceed. Just pause.
So
They mentioned being Apollo, the AI chat assistant, so I should keep things friendly and informative. First, I'll calculate 4 multiplied by 245. Let me do that. 245 times 4 is 980. That seems straightforward. I should make sure to present the answer clearly. I should also consider if the user needs more complex. Oh, it's telling what it's thinking. I don't know if that is useful in all scenarios, but I think it's a good add-on. You can just play it.
Maybe I think in this scenario it is not useful. Maybe when it's solving a slightly more complex mathematical problem, it'll probably help us understand how it got to the result rather than just looking at the result.
Yeah, probably.
With respect to the chain of thought, I think there's another video that I might explain it more clearly if I can play that.
A1 model uses the chain of thought prompting approach, which basically encourages the A1 model to break down the reasoning into simple to understand steps. This isn't new, but Deepseek R1 does this really well. So let's use this simple math.
So this is not a really complex one, but kind of those tricky questions, I guess.
Problem as an example. The first part here is the problem to solve. And the second is the prompt that I've added to show its chain of thought. So that's specifically, let's solve this step by step. For each step, explain your thinking and show your calculations. So hitting enter, you can see DeepSeek thinking and reasoning with itself, and this is what makes R1 different. It transparently reasons through each step individually and figures it out in the same response in real time. Whereas GPT can often be sort of clinical and political, I have found DeepSeek R1 to be direct, but also great at showing you the reasoning, and you can also extract the reasoning and send it to other AI models too, something that's unique to DeepSeek R1. The other cool thing is how DeepSeek R1 solves hallucinations. So hallucinations is a term to describe when.
So with respect to hallucinations, I think like in the earlier days when ChatGPT was a thing initially, it used to hallucinate a lot. And what I mean by that is it used to give wrong results repeatedly, especially when you are using the same chat window for an extended period of time. Let's suppose I was asking it to write a code, and it's giving me the wrong code, and I ask it to make changes. It won't make the changes. It'll just reiterate the same code. That was one of the issues that I used to face. I think it's still an issue, but not quite as much. But yeah, I think DeepSeek kind of helps with that.
Sure. I think these are like iterative. Some of the things, there will be some hallucination when any new model comes along, and iteratively they'll just improve it and make sure that they solve the corner case.
Also, one of the like, I don't know if it's still an issue, but one of the issues with like when GPT was in its 3 series or something like that, if you would ask it to rewrite the entire code, it wouldn't do that no matter what. It would just give you a placeholder for the previous code, and it would just write the new updated parts of the code. Like even if you explicitly say like rewrite this entire code for me, it wouldn't do that. It would just give you like a placeholder and just add a new function to the old code.
Okay, so
AI
let's
gives you
watch.
an incorrect answer, and it's a big challenge with current AI models. But I've noticed that R1 is particularly good at understanding why it hallucinates, almost as if it's truly self-aware, and then it also corrects itself. So I started recording this specific clip here when I noticed that it gave me an incorrect answer to the vague question of what happened to Hershey's in 1998. It says Hershey's launched Almond Kisses in 1988, when in reality they were actually launched in 1990. So I pointed out the mistake and asked why it made the mistake. Because of its chain of thought approach, it's fascinating to see it run a search on this mistake, confirming why it made a mistake, and then it corrects itself here. Compared to other AI models, DeepSeek R1 thinks way more naturally, almost human-like, and elaborates on its mistake clearly, so I highly recommend challenging R1 when it hallucinates, and give this a go yourself. It does seem to be slower though than ChatGPT 4o, especially when it comes to coding tasks. I've been playing around